to call this meeting to order. This is the Buena Vista Township regular meeting, the amended regular meeting, May 22nd, 2023. We'll start with a roll call.
Mr. Krenzer?
Here.
Mr. Renard?
Here.
Mrs. Testa?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mayor Ruggieri?
Here. On January 10th, 2023, notice of this meeting was mailed to the Daily Journal, the press, and duly posted in the main lobby of the municipal complex. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met in compliance with the Sunshine Law. I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the flag salute. Kurt, will you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4, approval of minutes. The workshop meeting, May 8th, 2023.
We need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Krenzer?
Yes.
Renard?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes.
Number 5, announcements, presentations, and discussions. We have a presentation for our Business of the Month to Hensel Farms LLC, presented by Mayor Ruggieri.
Mr. Hensel, would you mind coming up for us to brag about you for a minute or two?
Got a semi-apologize if you're alone. My son had an MRI scheduled at 6:15, and my grandson is suffering from a little weekend hangover.
No worries. You're the most important part of the operation.
So, well, I'm the patch.
So I'm going to rattle off a few facts and correct me if I'm wrong on anything, okay?
Go ahead.
So, 5th generation, 112 years. Does that sound right, give or take a few?
Close.
Wow.
And this is probably just a handful. Cabbage, cucumbers, parsley, spinach, peppers, tomatoes, flowers, bedding plants, and a handful more.
Well, our big thing is lettuce.
Okay.
We grow about 100 acres of lettuce a year, and I've got a thing here that was used up in Canada as a display at one of the
Very nice.
commodity markets. And
You see that on that?
our produce will go up and down the East Coast, and a lot of it into Canada. Right now, most of our lettuce is going into Canada.
Really?
So that was my next bullet. I didn't know how far north you went. I didn't know that you were into Canada as well.
Well, we sell to brokers.
Okay.
And to the Lansville Co-op. And the
Okay.
brokers, once again, will distribute. We actually don't distribute it to the stores. We sell through brokers.
Okay.
And, we'll pick, maybe 300,000 or 400,000 crates a year that is distributed.
It's
You say
incredible.
that just like it's not a big thing.
Well, and I can remember years ago when we picked 100 crates, we thought we were big operators.
Yeah.
Today, with the way farming has changed, the magnitude of the workers, the almost professional workers we have coming in, a lot of from Mexico or whatever, that if you seen them work when they're working piecework, you would almost have a heart attack watching.
I'm getting little glimpses now in our very small scope that we're doing, and it's, what would take Aaron and I 3 weekends to do, these guys have done in 90 minutes.
Incredible.
What's the secret to a century plus?
I don't know, my grandfather came over from Germany in 1904. My father was 3 years old and bought the farm and whatever. And my father farmed, and basically we fell into it. And they always told me, you'll find a job you love and you'll never have to go to work. And that's all I wanted to do was farm. So, and my son and grandson.
Well, on behalf of myself and the governing body, I think you guys are one of the hardest working operations we have in BVT. We wish you guys nothing but, future success in the years ahead.
I certainly appreciate it.
I'm going to give this to you on behalf of Buena Vista Township. We'll grab a quick photo if you don't mind. Hopefully this goes somewhere special. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hensel.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And Mr. Hensel, we forgot to mention sugar beets too. You guys provide us all sugar beets for hunting and whatnot as well, and we appreciate that. That's one of the most important things you do. So, and I really don't think you can say Buena Vista Township without the Hensel, farm coming up. So we sincerely appreciate everything you guys do down there. So thank you again.
We've touched on that before. Our business of the month. We don't have a lot of startups in BVT. Our youngest businesses are 20, 30, 40 years old, and then we've got a handful that are more than a century old. So I definitely think within our peer group that's rarefied air that BVT represents with just legacy businesses that have gone on for 3, 4, 5 generations. I'm going to jump over to my report tonight. I have a few quick updates I want to share. First, the Martin Luther King Community Center. Bathroom upgrades are ongoing. They should be finished by the end of this week. Pretty extensive. If you could, real quick, Lisa, just over the last 60 days, what have we done at the King Center? It's been a pretty...
Pretty easily said by a demo and rebuild of both the women's and men's bathrooms. They were completely gutted from ceiling down to the floor, including all of the plumbing underneath. So everything there is now brand new. All the plumbing is brand new. The flooring is brand new. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
The work in the kitchens?
What's that?
The work in the kitchen?
The work in the kitchens as well. That is done. We also did the storage room, which has our ice machine, which we were able to get by grant back in 2020. So everything is coming together really, really well over there. We're definitely anticipating to have that bathroom ready to go and operational by the end of this week. Their deadline was the end of next week, so it looks like we're just about right there. Once that is done and after we get through elections, the back door will be replaced as well. So
Perfect.
it's exciting.
They look great too. Looks really nice.
Really
And the
good.
floor, everything. Yep.
I want to hit you guys with a few quick dates just to jot down and commit to memory. June 17th is the Food Truck Festival from 11 to 5. New additions within the last several weeks. Mr. Softy, JR's Hot Dogs, Big Papa J's Barbecue, Pizza Queen, and Sweet Tooth, among about a half dozen others that we already have registered. So this is an event that we've been looking forward to. This is our first annual, so really looking for a solid turnout for this event. Summer Concert Series begins June 21st, kicking off with DJ Nikki G, our perennial. Nikki G, I think, is usually our lead-in for every year, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So summer concerts will go starting June 21 through August 9th, every Wednesday at Michael Debbie Park. And then a quick reminder, our Memorial Day service is this Monday, May 29th at Town Hall. Again, looking forward to seeing everyone there. Spoke to Superintendent Capuccio this morning. A few quick updates I wanted to share with you guys for the schools. Starting with the high school. May 16th, the newly renovated Media Center / library reopened officially to students and staff. They conducted a grand opening ceremony with a ribbon cutting ceremony and refreshments. The new tennis courts at the high school are fully operational at this point, and I know that was a big push with them to allow the students, the seniors specifically, to be able to use them before graduation. Quick update on the middle school. May 11th, the Buena Regional Middle School hosted the annual district-wide wellness fair. 30 vendors and organizations were in attendance, provided members of our community with information and resources for preventative care screenings, mental health, clothing donations. So that was a big event at the middle school. Quick update on Milanese. Significant progress continues to be made on the new gym, which is anticipated to reopen in September of this year coming. Friday, May 19th, the Milanese PTO hosted its first ever Wheels Parade, where the students gathered at the bus loop to watch various different vehicles parade through school grounds. The event ended with the ever-popular ice cream truck, where all students were able to have a special treat courtesy of the Milanese PTO. And then lastly, for these schools, Collings Lakes Elementary celebrated big victory for them, $7,000 for the American Heart Association Kids Heart Challenge. So that's significant. Faculty, staff, students, community members came together to raise the monies which can be used to raise for cardiovascular awareness and fund life-saving research. And that rounds us out on the schools. And then lastly, I spoke to the station commander, Lieutenant John Schulke, today. A few quick updates from the state police. Click It or Ticket is in effect May 22nd through June 4th. Reminder in advance, wear your seatbelt. State police are conducting radar surveillance over the next several weeks. Again, friendly reminder. And then lastly, there's been an uptick on vehicle break-ins. So public service announcement, please make sure you're locking your vehicles each time you exit. And that's all I have for my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinances for introduction, first reading. We'll take them individually. We have our first ordinance, which is 130-2023, amending, revising, and supplementing the Township Code with the addition of Chapter 220, Housing Standards. This is in connection with the new state mandate regarding lead paint inspections.
Okay. We need a motion and a second to introduce 130-2022.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Roll call.
Krenzer?
Yes.
Renart?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes.
That ordinance will be heard on Monday, June 23rd, 2023 at 7 p.m. Our second ordinance for introduction is 131-2023, amending and supplementing portions of Chapter 221 titled Rental Property. This is by title only this evening. It will be available to the public once it's through final draft through legal counsel. This, again, is in reference to the new state mandate regarding the insurance requirement for rental properties.
We need a motion and a second on 131-2022.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Krenzer?
Yes.
Renart?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes.
This ordinance will be heard on Monday, June 26, 2023 at 7 p.m. Ordinances for public hearing, second reading, there are none. Public comment on current agenda items only. In order for the committee to conduct the business of the township in the most productive manner possible, meeting attendees will be given 2 minutes, all-inclusive, to comment on any agenda items without comment or question from the committee, but only on items specified on the agenda for the, listed on the current meeting. Please step up to the microphone at the appropriate time and state your name and address for the record. Resolution 96-2023 is authorizing the payment of bills in the amount of $1,481,804.24. Of that is Atlantic County tax of $859,331.57 and fire district for $94,871.75. Consent agenda includes items of business which are not controversial and do not require individual discussion. A motion approving the consent agenda is moved, seconded, and voted upon as one item by the Township Committee. If any discussion is requested on a consent agenda item, it is removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. Resolution 97-23 is authorizing the issuance of street opening permits to South Jersey Gas. 98-23 is authorizing sale of surplus property on GovDeals. 99-23 is authorizing the issuance of a roadway solicitation permit to Milmay Volunteer Fire Company. 100-23 is authorizing the refund of tax payment to Loretta LLC due to an overpayment. 101-23 is authorizing refund of tax payments to CoreLogic due to overpayments. 102-23 is authorizing the mayor to execute the contract with Pyrotechnico for fireworks display. That's for National Night Out. 103-23 is approving a budget amendment, Chapter 159 for ANJAC grant. 104-23 is adopting the Buena Vista Township Emergency Operations Plan. 105-23 is accepting the Township Administrator's recommendations for personnel reorganization. 106-23 is authorizing a road closure of Cedar Avenue for National Night Out. 108-23 is approving a budget amendment, Chapter 159 for Clean Community Grant. And 109-23 is granting the renewal of plenary retail consumption and distribution licenses for licensing term of 2023 to 2024. It's
What,
been busy.
What takes you about a minute and a half to read, it takes about a month and a half to square away administratively, so thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
We need a motion and a second to open to the public for agenda items only.
Motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
Motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We need a motion and a second to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Roll call?
Frenzer?
Yes.
Renard?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes. And we need a motion and a second to adopt consent agenda resolutions 97 through 106, 108, and 109.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call?
Frenzer?
Yes.
Renard?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes. You need a minute to catch your breath?
I'm good.
All right.
But thank you. It's been a busy week.
Item number 12 is our administrator's report.
Couple things that are on the agenda. For one, we did receive an ANJAC grant, which is $1,500, which will go towards our community garden out at the MLK Center. That community garden is used for everybody within our municipality and all the residents to be able to grow and also provide the food bank that is also supported out at the MLK Center. So we are excited for that. That allows from some additional upgrades to the beds to be able to allow for better drainage and other different vegetables and things that could be planted with these new items that we can purchase with this grant. So I want to thank Valerie Behrens with Impact Harvest, who also helped to be able to apply for this grant. She was very instrumental in getting everything that we needed to be able to get that through. So I just want to say thank you to Valerie for that. Our emergency operations plan is our OEM plan. Originally, it was every 3 years. Now it's every 2 years. This had a lot of updates, so I want to thank our OEM coordinator, Debbie Bell. We kind of worked over the weekend to kind of get this really tightened up with everything that's required for the state OEM and Atlantic County OEM to be able to present this and then get this out approved. So we have our next 2-year plan for OEM. Budget amendment for clean communities. Previously, over the past couple years with COVID, that dollar amount was going down. Last year it was 31. It's back up to 35,000. So that's a great asset to the municipality. We use those funds to be able to help offset costs in public works and other advertising costs for things to be able to get out for anything clean community, including cleanups to the public, grants that are available. To be able to give to organizations for clean roads, things of that nature. So I'm glad that that money is trickling back up. That definitely is beneficial to the municipality. And 2 other quick things. One, we have a compost workshop, which is being hosted by our Environmental Commission. It is a free workshop. If anybody would like to attend, you do need to reserve your space for that. You just need to call Town Hall, 856-697-2100 at extension 8. It's going to be held Saturday, June 3rd, 2023 at 2 p.m. It is an outside event at the Dr. Martin Luther King Community Center underneath the pavilion, which is right outside our community garden, which is out there. So it's a great component for both at that time. So if you would like to attend that event, please call to reserve, and everything will be handled through the Environmental Commission. And last but not least, early voting. Buena Vista Township is a municipality which has early voting. We are one of the only, other than Hamilton, which is in the northern end of the county. We are the western south end of the county to be able to hold early voting for all the residents, not only for us, but Buena Borough, Weymouth, Corbin, to be able to utilize our facilities for early voting. That again is at the Dr. Martin Luther King Community Center. Which is 661 Jackson Road in Newtonville. It is for any Atlantic County resident. You do not have to just be Buena Vista. You just need to be Atlantic County resident, and you can vote. Early voting That starts Friday and Saturday at 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is June 2nd and June 3rd. And then Sunday, June 4th, they are open Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that brings us right into Election Day on that Tuesday. We also have a drop box, which is right outside our municipal building. Again, for any Atlantic County resident, if you received a mail-in ballot, that box is open. You can seal that ballot up and drop it right into that box securely, and it is picked up every day by Atlantic County Board of Elections. So that box will be available through Election Day, June 6th until 8 p.m. Any questions, feel free to give our clerk's office a call, 856-697-2100. Extension 1, you can ask for me or any of the ladies in the office, and we can guide you there. And that's my report.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
We're going to jump over to number 13, committee reports. We're going to start with Committeeman Aaron Krenzer. What do you have for us?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Got a couple of things here, so bear with me. Public Works update. We got parks, roadside grass, and grading. They're also picking up a lot of trash right now from the winter months and from the spring months. There seems to be a lot more roadside trash that they're finding. They're also finishing up the Sawmill Park parking lot upgrades. So if you're down in Richland, you can go over there and check that out. They're getting that all cleaned up, and it's looking nice. They're also prepping the township for the holiday weekend, and that just means, you know, the garbage is empty, things are clean, looking good, and everything's usable in our parks and that. I did mention last meeting, but I also wanted to mention it tonight because it's TV night, but I wanted to congratulate Albert Battolini again. He received the International Towing and Recovering Hall of Fame. That's Battolini Towing over in the borough area. And he lives locally here in Buena Vista, and a great person and asset to the community. I also wanted to say thank you again to the MLK team for the Mother's Appreciation Breakfast and Mentors Breakfast at the MLK for Mother's Day. It was fabulous. The food was unbelievable. And we're going to have a Father's Day breakfast also, so stay tuned for that. And despite the weather, last Saturday we had a great community yard sale. I think there was only 3 people that did not show up for their booths or their area there, so there was a lot of people that did show up. There was a lot of things sold, and it couldn't have gone any better, I would have to say. So thank you to everybody that came out, participated, or came out and just walked around and bought some stuff. Appreciate that. We did meet with a contractor and our township engineer at Michael W. Park to go over the concession stand with the grant that we got. So we're looking at possibly doing some work to that relatively soon. So we're waiting for some bids to come back on that to get that up and going to get that more in a usable condition. Also on events, we have the upcoming car show, July 1st, which is Saturday. That's going to be a great event. We've got people that are interested with Jeep clubs, Camaro clubs, you name it, steam engines. I mean, we've had a good outreach on people with that. So we look forward to that. Information's on the website and the sign-up sheet. And the only other thing is congratulations again, Mr. Hensel and family. So, and much deserved. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Aaron. Kurt, what do you have for us tonight?
I'd like to reiterate what Aaron said about the yard sale. Even despite the not-so-good weather forecast, we had a very good attendance, and from what I hear from the people, a lot of buyers, a lot of good deals. It was a very successful event. Right? And I'd like to say that me and John attended a meeting of the municipal officials. It was very productive, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at the Memorial Day service on Monday.
Perfect. Thank you, Kurt. I'm going to jump over to Deputy Mayor Testa.
Well, I wanted to remind everybody about the Memorial Day service on Monday, May 29th at 11 a.m. It's a wonderful event that honors our veterans, and I think that everybody should make an effort to attend. It's quite an honor to be there, and if anybody can make it, I think they really should make an effort to be there. Also, again, I'd like to mention the Food Truck Festival on June 17th from 11 to 5. It'll be the first time we're having that here in Buena Vista Township, and I'd like to see everybody try to make it because I think it's going to be a wonderful event, and I'd like to see it be a success so that we can do it in the future every year. Again, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Hensel and his family You're really an asset to this township, and obviously have been for over 100 years, and I hope at least 100 more. And guess that's about it. We have a lot of wonderful things happening in Buena Vista Township that I hope all of our members and constituents will come to.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. John, what do you have for us tonight?
I was glad to see the open space stewardship grant for $1,500 from Anjac. A few years ago, we had got the money for the Michael Devery Park trail, but Lisa tells me they won't be granting this for any trails anytime soon, so that was good to see that. And that was for $1,500. And I also was glad to see that we authorized the contract for the fireworks night for National Night Out in the amount of $11,000. So that was good to see that approved. And also, as Kurt mentioned, I attended the municipal officials meeting, and I also attended on the 9th of this month the Municipal Drug Alliance. And at this meeting, they said the grants must be for the towns, and the schools don't want the money. The CMOC was more money 2 years ago, and very particular reasons. It's intercongregational, intergenerational county coordinator and the clerk of this town. We don't have many high school kids, but we're going to work off of the Jakarta and kind of separate ourselves from that. And there's no Narcan available because the county gets it for free. And they were talking about hidden in plain sight, doing on our own at the middle school, and that was discussed. And the 2024 resolution is minor by bylaws established in-house, and in the past, the sheriffs were involved with the national helper, so maybe we can get that going again. And I also wanted to mention the food truck festival also on June 17th, as Ellen had mentioned, and the community yard sale on the May 13th was a big success. And we have the Memorial Day service on Monday the 29th. I will be there. And also with Aaron mentioned the car show and fun festival on July 1st. So we're looking forward to that because we haven't had the car shows for quite a few years, and that'll be good. And that's going to have food, bounce houses, music, crafters, vendors, and awards. And also, I believe you had mentioned the red, white, and blue mass at Friday, June 2nd at the St. Mary School. So that's all. That's celebrating all police, military, first responders, corrections officers, EMTs, and veterans are invited to attend. And that's all I have.
Thank you, John. Number 14, public comment.
The committee welcomes participation of interested organizations and individuals during regular caucus, workshop, and special meetings. However, in order to conduct the business of the township in the most productive manner possible, attendees will be given 4 minutes, all-inclusive, including all dialogue, questions, and responses from both the speaker and the committee for the designated public portion of the meeting. There may be no transference of a speaker's time to other attendees, so please step up to the microphone at the appropriate time and state your name and address for the record.
We need a motion and a second to open to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And before we do that, I just want to mention Mr. Hensel and to thank him for all his his farm in the Buena Vista Township. He's been a mainstay here for many years, and like he said, I hope they continue forever.
I want to thank you. If I can, I was here a couple months ago, and you guys were talking about chickens and chicken ordinances, and a few words.
Mr. Hansel, can you spin that further around?
Yes. Other than Mr. Test, I've seen a lot of surprised looks on your faces. But I just wanted to tell you a bit about the history of farming in Buena Vista Township. And chickens were a big thing at one time. In the town of Milmay alone, I counted from when my family came here, there was 47 farms in Milmay that had raised chickens to make part of their livelihood. 47 farms in Milmay. And as you go on through the years after the war, sweet potatoes were a big thing here. In the area from Lannisville, Buena Vista Township, and into New Italy, we had storage for about 250,000 bushels of sweet potatoes. 250,000 bushels. And that would be about 1,000 acres of sweet potatoes that were grown here. And it's just how times changed and whatever. But I got a kick out of the poultry industry and, you know, what took place that night with people having 6 chickens in the yard and getting letters. But there was a time that I would have to say in Buena Vista Township, there may have been as many as 200,000 chickens at one time. And the Vineland area, people don't realize it, that the Vineland area was in the 30s and 40s before the war deemed the egg basket of the world. Vineland area. When I went to Vineland High School, I wrestled for Vineland High School. The motto of Vineland High School was the poultry clan.
Correct.
Had a picture of a hen on our uniforms. We'd go out and wrestle, and the kid, bok, 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 you know. And eventually, in my junior year, they had a vote, and they changed it to the fighting clan, and the hen became a rooster on it. But it's just how things changed when we're looking at ordinances, like with people needing 5 acres of ground with 6 chickens and whatever. Those things were written years back where poultry was a big thing. And just for an example, I've got a close friend that sold his farm now, but had the normal farm years ago, maybe 3,000 layers, like I think Mrs. Testa had, you know, whatever. And that
Yeah, we had a lot more
his
than that.
father died when he was 14, quit school to run the farm, continued with the poultry farm up in Connecticut. When he sold his farm about 20 years ago, had 1.5 million lay-in hens. And a lot of those ordinances that were written 50 and 60 years ago were addressing that type of thing. But that's really, but I'm saying in Milmay, I counted 47 farms over the years that at one time or another raised chickens for part of their livelihood. That's all.
Will you be on our chicken advisory board
No,
when we put it
no,
together?
no. I can tell you, in all honesty, the most profitable decision I ever made, was part of on the farm, that I had a very close friend when we were 10 years old and whatever. They had a poultry farm, and I'd go visit him, and we'd have to go collect eggs and whatever. And my father, I guess maybe I was 10 or 12 years old, said, maybe we ought to put up a chicken coop. And I said, Dad, you put up a chicken coop, I'm going to run away from home. And from that time on, the poultry industry took a nosedive. And
Yeah, it started in the late 50s when it took a nosedive.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Hansel.
Mr. Hansel.
Any other public comment for this evening? All right, seeing none, hearing none, I will ask for a motion and a second to close to the public.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 15, executive session.
Item 15, we have Resolution 107-23, authorizing the committee to go into executive session, whereas we have 2 items scheduled for discussion this evening. to include any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiations or any matters within attorney-client privilege, to include attorney legal updates. Also, any matter involving the employment, appointment, termination of employment, or terms and conditions of employment, to include terms and conditions of the zoning officer and code enforcement officer. I estimate roughly 10 minutes for executive session, and action may be taken after.
Excuse me, I'd like to make an introduction. Matt Walker is here, who's running as a Republican Assembly candidate from Buena Borough. And I just see he's here in the audience, if you don't.
As soon as we vote on the resolution, because that's an open
Okay.
item on the
I'm
floor.
sorry.
That's okay.
We need a motion and a second to enter executive.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Krenzer?
Yes.
Renard?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes. Can we give you the floor for 30 seconds?
Pleased to meet everybody. Just wanted to come out and introduce myself. I'm Matthew Walker. I'm running for Assembly, General Assembly in LD4, which the borough and the township got, through redistricting, we got pushed into that. So things look well. So on our slate, it's Chris Delbarello for Senate and Amanda Esposito. Her and I are going to run for Assembly together. So we just kind of wanted to come down and introduce ourselves. They're at the northern end of the district right now. They're out knocking on doors. So I just came out to introduce myself and to say hi.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Matt.
much.
Thank you. Since we may have action to be taken, if there's no other items, we'll go into executive.
Okay, perfect.
Good. Thank you all.